5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have a parade!
Parade Watchers! It is time for another season for me to talk about some of your favorite characters that have been giant balloons in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And for this final season, not only I'll be talking about some more retired characters, but also previous balloon versions of some characters that are still being in the parade today. Like this one, who has appeared the most, more than any other character. The beloved beagle from Peanuts, created by Charles Schulz, Snoopy, who also holds the record for the most versions with a total of 8. And today we'll be looking at his first 3. Aviator Snoopy, the first version of Astronaut Snoopy, and the first version of Snoopy on skates. We start up in 1968, when Snoopy made his Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade debut as Aviator Snoopy, with United Media as his sponsor. His first design shows him wearing his green aviator hat and goggles. Now this next one's a bit complicated for me here, so just be on your judge here. The following year in 1969, after the successful Apollo 11 mission, they refitted the Snoopy balloon as an astronaut, which is basically the same design as the Aviator, with some modifications. This would continue until 1977. Then, the Aviator balloon would be brought back in 1978 until 1982, because in the 1980 parade, the balloon ended up getting a massive tear before the parade that year, and it couldn't be able to fly. And with the bandages falling apart for the next 2 years, they had to retire Snoopy. When it comes to the pre-1983 broadcast on NBC, we only have 2 when it comes to the 2 versions, except for the 1980 broadcast where he was skipped. They were 1976 for the Astronaut and 1981 for the Aviator.
The first of our giant Goodyear balloons is coming into view now, and it's everybody's favorite beagle, Charlie Brown's faithful friend and the nemesis of Red Baron. It's Snoopy. Snoopy's been a Macy's Thanksgiving Day regular since 1968. Don't go away, because the excitement is just starting, and coming up are more giant balloons and great bands, plus stars like Barry Manilow and the Rockettes and Evel Knievel and lots more, so stick with us. We'll be right back after this message.
Now, here's the fellow who missed the parade last year, but happily he's back with us today. You know, dogs in general have a lot of hidden talent. Often people don't realize that. Even the really difficult ones, they try harder to look smarter than their owners. But some are just natural standouts. There's no way you can miss them. Like our famous friend here, Pilot Snoopy. As far as I know, this four-legged wonder is the only animal around that's able to fly his own plane. In fact, this morning, he could fly without a plane. That's why he has 40 handlers along, just to keep him from getting out of hand. The favorite, I think, of most, old Snoopy. Boy, did we miss him last year. I think they put a Band-Aid on him, and he was well again. From above as he passes right by our nav station here, the giant of them all. the patch, wouldn't it?
Then, in 1985, Aviator Snoopy was brought back to celebrate Peanuts' 35th anniversary, on top of Snoopy bringing a list of kids on Santa's nice list.
I recognize that dog. I recognize that dog, too. Yep, it's Snoopy, and he's got his own list of children who have written to Santa. Looks like a lot of names on it. But if I know Snoopy, and I think I do, he's going to get that list to Santa. Don't worry about it. Furnished by United Media, Snoopy is one of the most popular characters ever to be a part of this great parade. There's the list. His first Broadway flight on Thanksgiving Day was in 1968, and he always gets standing ovations. Oh, there's some of the good girls and boys. You recognize your names? If you're not on that list, you are not to infer anything from it. Don't worry. No other beagle has that style and magnetism. Great to have him back, celebrating his 35th birthday, by the way. We also want to thank Charles Schultz, whose brilliant creation he is. Way to go, Snoopy.
For the first two versions of Snoopy, Aviator Snoopy has made 7 appearances, and Astronaut Snoopy with a total of 9 appearances.
Behind this door and down the hall is the secret for bringing to life one of the most spectacular sights in the Macy's parade: the giant balloons.
Jumping ahead 2 years later in 1987, United Media brought back Snoopy on skates. Unlike the previous version, this one had the correct shape and design of our beloved beagle, smiling around on skates with the Macy's hat and scarf, which the outfit was part of a plushie that Macy sold during the holiday season. Snoopy would be known in 1987 as Macy's Holiday Ambassador. And how did they craft Snoopy? Well, a year later, in 1988, on the PBS Kids Classic Reading Rainbow in the episode Rush, LeVar Burton visited the parade studio, which at the time was in Hoboken, New Jersey, on how they make Snoopy, with probably a preview of his new version.
So, Manny, where are those great balloons?
Okay, the balloons are not here, but this is where the ideas come right off the paper.
Aha. This is Manfred Bass, the designer of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This is the guy responsible for creating all of those great floats and balloons that we see every year on TV. So you have some other sketches of maybe balloons? Ah, here's one.
Ah, here we go.
It says Snoopy balloon. Yeah, I know this guy. This is Snoopy.
Okay, this depicts Snoopy, the morning of the parade, coming down the parade route. We take this sketch and we create a clay model. And from that clay model, we create the balloon.
Can we see him make a model?
Let's go.
All right.
We take the clay and we mold the entire balloon the way we want to see it. And it's a very flexible media, so you can see we can really have fun and get the shape and the size that we need.
So when this model is finished, this will look just like Snoopy.
Yeah.
So once you have your clay model finished, what do you do next?
Okay, the clay is very fragile, so what we do now, we make a mold over that clay model. So we have one right over here, and you can see this is a mold. And into this mold, we cast a hard model. And you can see inside, this is always an exciting moment when we open up. And this mold here gives us a nice hard model.
So you'd use the clay model to make a mold, and the mold to make a hard model.
Right.
And what do you use the hard model for?
Okay, Now we'll just go right over here and take a look at that hard model. Now, we just mark each piece of fabric on the hard model, and this is the way the cutters will cut all the fabric to create this balloon.
So you use the hard model to figure out exactly where all of the fabric will be pieced together in the balloon itself.
And you can see we're going to use yards and yards and yards and yards and yards and yards of this fabric.
This is the material that you actually construct the balloon out of, huh? So once the balloon is all cut and sewn together, what happens next?
Now we're for the now for the best part, the inflation.
The inflation.
Yeah, that is just unbelievable.
Wow. Just think what it takes to inflate all the balloons for the parade. But every November, each of them is filled with air. What a parade it is.
Hey, just in case you missed it, that is Teflon that Joe was skating on. Teflon. Snoopy and all the gang, and its greatest beagle in America would be flying today. We thought so. A nice day like this. This is the new, improved Snoopy balloon. And with sound effects, I might add. He's been laughing all the way down Broadway. Furnished by United Media, Snoopy is 60. Hi, Snoopy. I'm laughing. 62 feet tall. That's about 62 times as tall as the average beagle. He's skating on 14-foot blades and wearing a stocking cap 30 feet long. And a matching 50-foot red and green scarf. He'll never lose those in the snow. Snoopy, you're a jewel. We love you. Takes 34 leashes to guide Snoopy, and all of his handlers wear stocking caps with wood stocks perched on top, just like some of the famous weathermen that I know.
Despite of Snoopy's return, this Snoopy on skates only lasted 1 year, which if you combine the previous two versions, that makes 17 appearances for Snoopy. However, there will be more, as this is just the beginning. We will have more episodes on Snoopy's other versions in future episodes.